And welcome back to the channel. 3 guys, 1 bottle, but we lied many more times this video. We have 3 bottles in the different location. We're at Corey's house.
Wow.
We are on the casting couch. As many of you may know, that is a pretty cool place to be, especially in this residence. We have 3 bottles here today that we have not opened or tasted at all. So it is a fresh crack Thursday for everybody watching. We have both highly sought after Penelope Havana that I was able to obtain. We have a bottle Corey was able to get, Blue Run, with a nice butterfly on it.
And then we have some Redwood Empire Lost Monarch.
It's supposed to be a really good one too. We actually tried the Pipe Dream recently, which was very good. It was in the video, but we didn't actually taste it in the last video.
So we see it in every single
it was just kind of sitting there. But that's how it's like we do things. We like surprising you guys. That's the thing. You know, if you look at the most recent video we just uploaded, I said we're changing things up, which is a trend around here because we don't have any trends. We just kind of do whatever we like doing. These are probably bottles that go differently than what we try to do. Like we've said many times, we try to go bottles that most people are able to get because we know the experience of trying to find bottles and like going out and waiting in stores and stuff. But you know, all of these we didn't actually have to wait outside for. I had to hunt for this a little bit and got lucky early in the morning, but Corey just got these 2 right at the liquor store in PA. So
literally just earlier today.
Trying to stick with our groove a little bit here, but every once in a while I'm gonna throw a curveball at you, like the Havana, which we're gonna see if it's actually worth what people are trying to get it for. So I guess we'll start with
Start with this one.
I'm gonna start with the Blue Run.
Yeah, just because it's a lower proof, it's not by much, I guess.
That's 111.
It's 111. Well, this is cask strength, 116.
Well, this is 95. Do you want to start by just cracking the highly sought after Penelope Havana?
Yeah, we can start there.
All right, so we opened it. That took way longer than expected because we are not professionals nor enthusiasts. We're just 3 guys and a bottle. So Penelope Havana, another sought after Penelope whiskey. You know, like we said before, MGP in Indiana. This one is finished with maple syrup and rum barrels. And as you guys have heard, Austin over there is, you know, a very big rum barrel enthusiast.
You smell the rum.
Absolutely. You can smell tons of rum on this.
But I heard that even though you can smell the rum, you can't really taste the rum.
I smell maple syrup too.
I heard you taste a whole lot of maple syrup with it.
Wow, that is unique.
I'm getting a hint of the maple.
Very light maple for sure.
No really like ethanol smell with it either.
No.
Yeah, it's not very strong smelling.
It is a lower proof at 95. You know, I wouldn't say low, but lower.
But still, for like a first whiskey of the day, you know, your sense of smell is going to be a lot stronger than after having a few sips of whiskey.
Correct.
But yeah, no ethanol smell with that. I actually get the rum. I'm surprised.
I get the rum too.
This might be one of the best bottles I've ever tasted.
And that aftertaste of the maple is really, really good.
Wow. So, you know, we were lucky enough one time to get a bottle of Penelope Rio, which if you know anything about whiskey, that's like one of the unicorns out there, Penelope. Tastes like Cinnabons. That is probably, I don't want to say worse, but I like this better. But the thing about that Rio is that's a dessert whiskey. I could have more than 1 glass of this.
I could drink glasses of
After reading the description, I thought this was going to be heavy like Rio, but no, this, I can have multiple of these.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
It's really, really good.
Like that, you get tons of maple syrup on the palate, a slight on the nose. It almost flip-flops. You get tons of rum on the nose, slight maple syrup, and then on the palate, you get tons of maple syrup and slight rum. But this is unique.
Yeah.
It almost seems like this should be like a finished whiskey. Or sorry, not a finished whiskey, a flavored whiskey.
Yeah,
not finished.
It almost does taste like a flavored whiskey, but
it tastes too sweet. Not in a bad way though. It just doesn't seem possible.
I think it's just enough.
and like
I guess when you compare it to Rio,
and it
Rio
is
is so overpowered.
it's not as dark as I thought either for being with maple syrup. Wow, that is good.
That's really, really good.
I just want to like savor this.
Wow.
Do you guys get oakiness too on the finish?
I think the sweetness of it is too overpowering for me to taste anything else.
I don't get much other than a maple syrup type of flavor on the like lingering, but I get oak lingering in a very good way. Is there an age statement on this, Corey? Did you see?
I didn't even check. I guess technically it would make sense to taste them though, because it's double finished. Yeah, it's finished in
Technically,
rum, in maple,
yeah, finished,
but it's
triple
still
barrel.
double finished, so it would make sense to have a little bit of oak come
Yeah,
through.
so this has been in 3 barrels technically. It was in the barrel that it was aged in,
Yeah,
and then
yep.
it was then thrown in maple syrup and then rum barrels.
Yeah.
So double cask, triple barrel, whatever.
Yep.
Penelope Cooper series, which God, I love Penelope. Takes our straight whiskeys on a world tour, pairing Penelope with unique casks from around the world, inspired by the neon lights, warm, humid nights, and mambo beats. Havana finishes are straight bourbon whiskey, so I assume just a regular Penelope that they have, in rum barrels, renowned for their molasses confection and tropical sweetness. Let the flavors transport you to Old Havana.
I get the chase for these. I get why people wanted these so so bad.
And
Absolutely.
this is a brand new bottle by them too.
Yeah.
Like this bottle has just came out within the past couple months, whereas Rio's been around for I think 3 or 4 batches now. It's probably about 3 or 4 years. This is technically batch 1 by them. So, take this as you may, but if you see this bottle and you don't buy it, you did something wrong. I mean, this is great. I should have bought 7.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I've read reviews recently, where it's like, yeah, it's not worth it. Like it's good, but it's not worth trying to go out and buy it. But to each their own. I don't get that review at all. I think this is 100% worth it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a $90 bottle here in PA, and I would spend that every day of the week on this bottle, every day.
I think I would end up going through this so quickly. Good thing it's at your house.
Yeah, bad thing it's at my house for me. But, secondary, this has been all over the place. I've seen it for 120 to 210. I mean, I don't want to say I don't support, but I don't buy secondary bottles. If people want to, that's on you. It really doesn't matter to me, but I don't buy secondary. That's not me. But if I would, this bottle, I think I would probably pay almost midwinter price for it, like 130, 140.
Really?
That's a lot, though.
That is a lot.
Well, I mean, if you think, compare it to a bottle that is that MSRP, right? So let's say Elijah Craig, 18 years, $180, $200. This is better. Midwinters, this is on par. Again, different type. It's a rye versus a bourbon, but both finished. I think this is on par with the Midwinters. It's right around that 130, 140 mark. I wouldn't go spend $200 on this secondary. I wouldn't.
I would pay 100 for this. Easy, at least.
Yeah.
I could go above that, but at least 100.
But MSRP, though, I think this is well worth it.
Definitely a buy.
And people have been talking a lot of smack of Penelope recently, saying that, I'm not going to pay $90 for an MGP whiskey. I don't know what they're talking about. This is phenomenal. This is an amazing, amazing pour. That's just great. Like, it's not overbearing sweet, almost kind of like Rio is. But even Rio, I get the chase reason. I mean, it's amazing. It's unique. But this is just, like, I could drink probably 4 glasses of this, like, throughout a night just sipping on it.
The first time we drank Rio, and ever since then, we've said that you can only have 1 glass of it a night.
Yeah.
It's not the case for this one.
No, like, when we have Rio, the very few times we do, because I'm afraid I'm going to drain the bottle, we have it at the end of the night as just a little bit of, like, a sipper, because we call it a dessert whiskey. If you're having 1 glass at night, or if you're finishing your night, that's kind of what you end with. This you could throw around all over the place, and it just doesn't matter, because it tastes like bourbon as well as the finishes, where Rio, I think, just tastes like dessert.
Yeah.
I think that's what they kind of got right here, is you still get, at least I do, like the oakiness, the burr, and you get that bourbon from it. And we might just be MGP guys here. I mean, we've kind of come down to that, especially me, but
I think I always just have high hopes going into a Penelope bottle because of you.
that's because of me.
Because of you.
You set the bar pretty high.
I did, yeah.
Especially with this one.
Yeah.
You've been talking about this one for weeks now before you
I
even
swear months.
got it. Yeah, maybe months.
No, I've been talking about it for months, since they released on their website saying, hey, we have a bottle coming out. And I was like, oh, this is finished in rum. I can't wait not to find it here. But I was extremely lucky enough. Fun fact, so me and my wife were driving around. We had the day off for Martin Luther King Day Monday. We drove to one store, and I called 3 others. Every single one either didn't get any bourbon in the day or were sold out in 5 minutes. And in PA, you're only supposed to be able to buy 2 of allocated bottles. Some stores let you buy all of them. So people were buying both cases that came in. I thought I got unlucky. I called another store that was a little bit farther away from me, and they said, oh, we don't get trucks on Mondays. We get trucks on Tuesdays. Well, I have to go to my doctor's the next day. My doctor's was a 9-minute drive from that store. So I went in and I was like, oh my God, there it is, sitting on the shelf. But it was 9:40. They opened at 9 o'clock and there were 9 bottles gone already. So in 40 minutes, there was 9 bottles of these gone. And
You got 2, right?
I did get 2.
That was
Because
good. My next question was going to be, how often do you think you'll drink this now?
Now that I have 2,
But now you have
it's gonna
2,
be
you can
scary.
drink the first one as
Yeah.
quickly as you want.
That's
Save for the second.
That's the scary thing. Like if I would have bought 2 Rio, we would have gone through a bottle and a half by now.
Oh, easily.
But since I did get 2 of these, it's going to be scary. This might be like a video ender every single time. I mean, this is very good. I'm gonna have to like hide this from both of you.
Now I'm a little scared that we started with that one, though. Because these
I
next 2
know.
could just kind of let us down. Especially because this one, I don't know anything about this. I've heard good things about this one, but this one, the Blue Run, I've seen videos of people reviewing
I've
it.
seen
but
videos. I've seen it in people's, videos like the bourbon and whiskey YouTubers. I always see this bottle there, but I never see them talk about it.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, because people have it, they're buying it.
Maybe they just don't want to tell people about it because it's so good.
It's possible.
Maybe. So is it just regular bourbon?
Yep. High rye. So there's a lot of rye in this.
What's the mash bill in the back?
65% corn, 30 rye, 5 malted barley.
That is actually really
So
high
a
rye.
third of it is rye. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right on the edge of being bourbon.
Bardstown, Kentucky.
Oh, so that's a Bardstown bottle.
Yeah.
They own 1792, the Thomas S. Moore that we've recently got here. That's really good. If you guys see Thomas S. Moore, by the way, buy those finished bottles. They're actually really good and very affordable.
111 proof, so it's a slight step up.
Not much.
No.
Yeah, but I've heard great things about that, whatever the pipe dream is over there. That's not pipe dream.
Yeah, the Redwood Empire
Empire.
Lost Monarch.
Redwood Empire recently just came to PA within the past maybe year, and every time something comes here that wasn't here before, it's sold out like this, whether it's good or not. But since it's been coming more and more, it's been at stores more and more. And he got Pipe Dream, which we think is very good. It tastes like apples. So I mean, if we like something, you're just gonna get more flavors out of the cask strength. Can't really beat it there.
Before we pour this next one, a little aside. When I was at the store earlier getting these 2 bottles, there was 8 bottles of Booker on the shelf, which blew my mind. Like there was 2 rows of it. Usually there's just like 1 row. There was
Did
2
you see
separate rows of like 4
Was
deep.
one of 25?
I didn't check. I should have. I
man.
definitely failed. Now that I'm thinking,
I mean, it is 2025. That could have been the new one.
I definitely.
I mean, what
You
time
know?
is it right now?
I don't have
Oh,
a
no.
watch on, and my phone's recording. Hey, I know. Fun fact, you guys, we do have a different audio setup going on, so please let us know if this is absolutely atrocious.
I might have messed up there.
You might have.
I doubt it because I would highly doubt that they would be 2025 just sitting on the shelf.
2024 has been sitting on the shelf.
But we were early in 2025. 2024 is over, so they're just like a leftover. I feel like everybody would go for the 2025 if I was sitting there. I don't know. I might have to go back tomorrow now.
All right, so we're gonna do it the Blue Run.
Yeah, we'll do Blue Run next. Get some water in here. Rinse it out.
Usually I don't rinse out, but because of how sweet that is, I do want to get a fresh glass. Plus, hydration is key, everyone.
Is it really though? I mean, I think that's what highballs are for, not water.
I speak about highballs in the last video. Ooh!
That
You guys
was-
hear that one?
That was smooth.
All right, Blue Run, Bardstown, Kentucky. They own 1792. Bardstown, Thomas S. Moore. They are a pretty big distillery. And then, we don't get Bardstown, the bottle, that just say Bardstown on here in PA, or even very often. But you
Well, I
do
don't-
see 1792 a lot.
I don't know if it's by
smells
Bardstown though. It
bad.
says hand bottled by Blue Run Spirits in Bardstown, Kentucky.
I feel like if it's in Bardstown, it has to be by Bardstown Distillery, right?
And then up top it says from Georgetown, Kentucky.
That smells
Okay,
so
I
so
don't.
so this is one of those whiskeys that we talked about then, that they might buy this from somewhere else and just kind of either bottle it themselves or age it themselves.
good. It smells phenomenal though.
Because it says
It
hand
does smell
bought.
good.
Let's see. Hold on here. Now you got me down a rabbit hole. This is one of those bottles that confused me. So, from Georgetown, Kentucky, hand bottled by Blue Run Spirits.
So
This
look like
does
it's-
not say aged or made
No.
by Blue Run Spirits.
No. So it looks like Blue Run takes whiskey from somewhere else and they do the bottling. They may also
It doesn't. It doesn't say aged either. Like they literally might just buy bottles from somewhere.
Because it's a mix, right? Is it a mix of multiple?
It doesn't say mix. It just says.
No, it's straight.
Yeah.
So they're taking whiskey and just
Literally just bottling it.
bottling.
So I mean, this again, I don't like when distilleries do this because they're taking you for a ride here and not giving you all the information. But since they're just bottling it, what if they do get like the better bottles or better barrels from this place in Georgetown? Because there's nothing that says distilled by, nothing that says aged by. It is bottled by and hand bottled. So I guess it means
If
something.
we looked it up, we probably could figure out who actually
We
distills
definitely
it and
could.
everything. But I also just like the bottle. That little butterfly is sweet.
You like it?
Yeah, it's got like little butterflies.
Did you know it's actually a pen, like a little pin you can take off and display?
No, it's not.
It is. Look,
A what? A pen?
a pen. Yeah,
That rye definitely comes through on the
Definitely.
nose.
it totally is.
I mean, to me, this tastes or just
A lot of rye.
it just smells like an oak and like rye.
Lots of rye, a little bit of oak. It's not bad though.
No,
That's good.
that is a lot of rye. That's a high
That's
rye.
a lot of rye.
This tastes more rye than most ryes.
Yeah.
30% rye.
I mean, not in a bad way. This is very good. It is just very oaky and then very floral from the rye. Not, you might have been right. This Vanna might have screwed us. I mean, this is not complex, but this might be just because we had the craziest bottle ever. I get a little bit of ethanol in the nose.
I think this is what I need in a whiskey. I can't get just the oak. I need something else with it. So this one has that oak, but it has so much. It's such high rye percentage that it's what I can taste is the rye.
No, I don't taste any of the malt at all. There's no Cheerios in here.
It's unfortunate. I miss my Cheerios.
I mean, this is like almost the definition of a good bourbon, right? Like it's just there's no thrills with it. There's no craziness going on. Like this is just
Just a simple bourbon.
a simple bourbon. It is a high rise, so I guess you got a little bit, but this is good. Like this is a very good bottle. Now, again, question: would you go out and chase this bottle? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, just for your knowledge, this is a $90 bottle. $99.
So
It's
both
almost a $100 bottle.
So 90 versus 90 here. I would go Havana any day of the
Yeah.
week. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it just depends on what I would too. I agree. I think maybe for some people that is too sweet, or maybe that's not what they're looking for in their whiskey. I don't know, but I would say that if I had a choice between these two, I'd probably go with the Penelope.
I mean, I feel like for the price of that one, there's probably things that are just on par that are cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like this is a good bottle. Like it's not bad. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's not a lot going on.
There's a lot of high rye bourbons out there. There's not a ton of whiskeys that are like that are finished in rum and maple syrup.
Yeah. I would like to
So-
taste this one though against the Baker's High Rye. Kind of get a different. Maybe we get the bean peanut, does something with the rye versus this one. Since you bought this, I wouldn't. I think that's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is good, but I just feel like if it sits at my bar, I don't know if I would go back to it a lot with other things that I have.
I will say I don't want to downplay this. I like this one a lot.
No, it is.
This is out of the ones that I bought recently, especially recently.
Oh,
this is
especially
one of my
recently,
favorites.
yeah. This is one of the best you bought in a while.
Yeah, in my lifetime, I think there's probably a handful that maybe are better, but this is definitely one.
double oak.
Oh, no.
But even that one, I would put this above that one. Although in the blind, who knows?
Yeah.
I still have not
The blind
uploaded.
changes
I,
everything.
I still have not uploaded that blind yet because I tried to yesterday and I was too embarrassed. I stopped editing it and just deleted it. So we'll see if I ever finish that one.
I'm holding up the editing here, guys.
We'll see if you keep an upload.
Yeah, I tried to upload it to the app or whatever we use, and it didn't work. I emailed it to myself and then uploaded it to Google Drive.
And we have for anybody that wants to know, Austin and I work together. Actually, work in IT, and he is knowledgeable in computers. He just doesn't work in it. He just doesn't think that he is. So Austin was gracious enough to kind of give us a server that we can all access and back up everything to for redundancy. And he tried to, and it timed out because it took so long from his internet.
Yeah, internet provider likes to throttle my uploads. So.
Yep, not the download.
No,
just the
download's
upload.
great. Upload, not so much.
Yeah, so since we're recording at his house, I had to bring my laptop, my phone, so I can just bring it out.
Next episode, Starlink.
I brought water because I thought this was, even though it's only 111, I thought it was going to be a little bit spicier.
Actually, yeah, this is not hot at
I was
all.
going to try to put water in it to like diminish some of the heat, but it's not really hot.
I would say this isn't hot at all. Actually, now that I think about this, for 111, this is nothing.
It's smooth.
So now that you're kind of taking that consideration of like, one, it's a higher proof, so it's less dilution per barrel. You don't get a lot of heat, and the flavors are good. There's just not a lot. So I'd be curious if there is maybe a Blue Run like store pick or cask strength or something. I'd be kind of curious.
And it says batch spring, so assuming this has to be last spring, is when they would have like maybe released it, I guess.
I don't know. That bottle's looking a little dusty.
And then bottle 6,791.
We'll have to do some research on this
Because I want to know, like, obviously there's no age on it for a reason, but I'd like to know like
at least a guess.
what range we're looking at here.
I don't think it's young. Like I think it's at least 5'6".
Oh, easily. Easily.
Alright, and last one, Redwood Empire Lost Monarch Small Batch American Whiskey. So this one is not a,
This is a blend, isn't it?
is a bourbon and rye blend. Cask strength, 116 proof, 55% rye, 45% bourbon.
Ooh.
So there's gonna be a lot of rye in this one as well. Aged at least 3 years. So,
Hey,
So this one would be
three.
kind of young. Man,
That's
you
so
long.
good with the corks.
You're about to be the cork guy from here on out. You're trying to kill me.
It looks
Yeah,
like there's a little bit of cork in the pour too.
Oh yeah, we're just doing more and more pours, and then when we get to the highest proof, we're like, let's just give everybody a full glass. Yeah, and we're not
That's
using the staple of the channel. There is no Yamazaki glasses. I'm sorry, we're using Glens. So everybody
Because
can be happy.
it's in my house, so it's my rules.
But Glens
And
don't matter.
And in this house, we use Glens because it's better for the smell, not for the taste. The taste is going to be kind of the same.
I think the
At least
smell's
I
the same.
I think it's not a huge difference, but
This has like little to no ethanol compared to the
No, like
Blue Run.
you could put this whole thing in your nose.
Yeah,
And there's
the
really
Blue
not a
Run
lot of
was
burn.
a tiny bit ethanol, but this one no.
I put my nose a little bit too deep and I got some ethanol.
Did it?
There's a lot of rye though.
You want to go a little deeper for
I
me,
mean,
buddy?
it's
There's definitely
55% rye, so
Yeah.
a lot of floral going on.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of get that like bourbon, caramel, sweetness type of thing going on.
Yeah, I got the caramel too. Very floral taste.
Extremely.
I don't know what that aftertaste. It might just be floral.
I think
Something
it is
weird on
almost,
the back
it's
end.
like a bitterness of the floral.
I was just about to say like bitter. I get a little bit of caramel as soon as I taste it, but that floral just overpowers it extremely. Like I would think this is just a rye finish in bourbon barrels because this is just rye.
The lingering taste, I definitely get more caramel on the linger
I can see that.
compared to the initial sip. And the floral's gone, but yeah, when you're drinking that, you get floral at the end.
I think the smell and the finish is better than the taste, though.
It's not bad.
Not saying it's bad. This is definitely a
well,
good bottle.
it's coming from Penelope fanboy, so that means it's probably a pretty good whiskey.
You're probably
It's
right.
not MGP, so he doesn't
Exactly.
like it.
Is it? Who knows? Where's it bottled at? Where?
Yeah, that third sip was much better, actually, than one I just took. Bottled in Sonoma County, California. So there is a quote on here, in every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks.
Wow.
Think about that.
That's inspirational.
It's because in California you can do mushrooms.
This has a master distiller on here, Jeff Duckhorn.
Love it. Jeff, you make a pretty
That's
damn
a good name.
bottle.
Duckhorn.
Aged for a minimum of 3 years in the temperate climate of the northern California coast. Explore new heights of Redwood Empire's craft.
So Northern California, you do get the more versatile weather than if you're like Southern.
Oh, see, we're supporting the world. Trees for the future. Buy a bottle and we'll plant a tree. So just by me buying this, they planted a tree for us.
Bet you Mr. Beast planted more.
Can they prove it to me? No, they cannot.
Nope.
I'm just going to take their word for it.
I mean, if you put something on a bottle, I'll just believe you. You could tell me it, cures my diabetes, and I'll believe you.
Yeah. This could just be sugar mixed in whiskey, and I would believe you.
Probably is.
Mm-hmm.
No one's allowed to touch my Havana again. That's
You
not
can buy
coming
your
out of whiskey
Havana.
night.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely coming out on whiskey.
No,
night.
you cannot bring that out of whiskey, and it'll be gone.
It'll be literally.
All right,
everybody
pick
can-
one.
Can you
Wild-
please make me an old fashioned with that, please?
Wild
smack
Turkey
first.
12 or Havana?
It's that is such two different.
I know,
types
but
of
if you had to
balls.
choose one,
Midwinters or Havana.
Havana,
Wild Turkey 12 or Havana?
Wild Turkey 12.
All right,
Ah,
so
okay.
give me that.
No. No, I mean Wild Turkey 12. I think is the best bottle I've ever tried.
It gets better than that.
You like Japanese whiskey?
Well,
more
no,
than I
like
do, though.
the price of how do I put this? So like the price of return on the wild whiskey diminishes a whole lot the higher value you go, but there's just some where you can see why the value is at that value.
I mean, I wish one day we will be luxurious enough to try a Pappy and just see. I know it's not going to be worth secondary. It's not going to be worth the hype. I get it. But I want to know, is it going to be at least worth even the MSRP? The 23 year is like, what, $500, I think?
I know a bar,
Yeah, but how much is a pour? $100?
probably $80 or $100. I mean, I think it'd be worth it just to try for the pour.
If we all split it, I can spend $100 on a pour whiskey. I could buy another bottle of Havana.
Yeah, show me the store. Show me the store.
Give me a year.
I don't want to lose sight of this bottle though. Similar to like the Blue Run. This is, as we've talked, as I'm drinking it, I really like this bottle a lot actually.
Yeah.
I think I like Blue Run more.
I think this one the heat comes through a little bit more.
Well, see, I like the heat. I'm not worried
me
about
too.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do like rye, but I
Good
think
one.
that this is just too much rye for a mixture, I think. Like, me personally, I think that if you're going to have a bourbon, make it a bourbon, and a rye, make it a rye. Like, a high rye, I can understand, but mixing literally a rye and a bourbon together, I just don't know if I'm that type of person.
Is it the thought of it? Because
I
you
don't-
like the taste.
I don't think it's a thought, but I just think it's just like different flavors kind of competing for themselves. You know, like,
You think it should either taste like a bourbon or taste like a rye.
correct, yeah. Like the high rye, it tastes like a bourbon. You just get a floral, like kind of taste and aftertaste, which I think is good. This there's just too much kind of going on, like not like complexity. It's just they're really battling for each other because it's literally just a bourbon. You know, you get caramel, oak, char, and you get a rye, which is floral, and that's just beating the crap out of each other in your mouth.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know, like, and people might love this. You guys might love it. This, I don't think, is my personal cup of tea. Is that mixture?
I think,
Not disgracing the bottle because
Yeah,
it does taste good.
I enjoy this quite
honestly,
a bit.
this is a great sipping whiskey.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I could sip this throughout the night. Absolutely.
Yeah, as I've tasted it more right now, I think that this is up there as one of my favorites that I've had.
I like the proof a lot. I like that you can actually feel it a little bit. And this is what, just a small batch, it says?
Yep,
Yeah.
small batch American whiskey. Uncut, unfiltered. By Jeff Duckhorn. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
You're an American hero.
That's actually surprising to me that it's that low of a proof being, one, even a bourbon, but two, also a rye that is at cast strength. Because like we said in the last episode, actually, bourbon has to be 160 proof going into the barrel, right? At the maximum. Ryes can go higher than that if I'm not mistaken, because ryes tend to be higher cast strength.
Yeah, I
Good
don't even know if
bourbons.
there's a limit for how
Yeah,
high
I'm not
it can
sure.
be. We tend to always think about the rules of bourbon because that has the most strict rules.
Yeah, those are actually rules, and that the rest of it, dude, I don't really know if there's much, regulation, as they say.
Yeah.
Because, like, the highest proof that I have in my house is that 130 proof Jack Daniels, and that's a rye.
That's hot.
That's only a little spicy.
But that is probably the most complex rye flavor out of any I've ever tried. You just might have to put a bit of water in there.
Yeah, I would say like I put 2 drops in this, so I can still taste the heat. So I think
I
you're
know,
fine
I
to
definitely
put 1
get
or
the
2
heat.
in there. Yeah.
I think this is good.
I think it's great too.
It's just like,
What's the price on the bottle?
That one's 75.
That's not bad. For
That's
75. That's a good value.
I would
Value.
buy this for 75 over this for 90.
Yeah,
I-
can see where you're
I
going.
could agree with that. Like, if this bottle and that bottle were the same price, I would go that one any day of the week. But I don't think that's worth the $100.
No,
It's- Especially because you don't know anything about it. Like, you don't know where it's coming from. You don't know who actually aged it. It gives you the mash bill. That's great. Who made it? Where was it aged? Does this say bourbon on it?
that is a bourbon.
Yeah,
It's a
bourbon whiskey. Yeah. Okay.
Kentucky bourbon.
Are we
So,
sure
so
that's
this,
just
so
not the
it
brand?
has to be made and aged in Kentucky somewhere. I'm
No.
assuming Georgetown.
Doesn't have to be made in Kentucky.
No, but if it says
But
Kentucky, it
well,
has to be.
Oh, that's true. No, my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did say Kentucky bourbon. Yeah, somewhere in Kentucky.
I'm assuming where it says Georgetown, who owns Georgetown Distillery? So we actually did a little bit of research on the side here. We just cut it out because we were BSing. We did a little bit of research on this Blue Run. So you want to go off of what you saw here?
Yeah. So apparently, small batch whiskey, like we said, it's the first product from their master distiller, and then it's distilled at Castle and Key Distillery.
Which we have heard of their
Heard of
bottle
before.
Yeah.
I believe they're still fairly
I think they're
Fairly
new.
new.
Yeah. They're new
within
in
this
this
last
game.
decade, I would say. They're not like a year old or anything. Only 100 barrels produced. And let's see, at the New Orleans Spirit Competition, this won best of category. So I'm assuming that means best of maybe high rye.
Best
bourbon.
of high rye bourbon only in Kentucky that has malts in it, but also has a butterfly on the barrel. Like
Yeah. Who knows?
Did
what
you
it could
know
be.
the butterfly is actually a pin? You can
it
take
is a
off the
pin.
barrel.
You can take it off. We're gonna put it on his head later.
Nose, there should be hints of bright cherry and tobacco. I did not get either of those.
I did not get that.
I-
at all.
I could- Like I've said before, tobacco and oak to me, I think can be indistinguishable.
Palate, white pepper slowly moves to stone fruit and apricot. Do not
No.
get either of that.
There's
either.
no pepper in this at all. There's no baking spices.
And finish is herbal white tea, peach, and clove.
I can get
Maybe the clove.
And maybe the herbs.
Maybe
like
herbs. Yeah.
see, that's the thing
Did
about
we
like
just get a bad barrel?
when we do our reviews, which we do research before these videos of kind of what things should taste like, what bottles we think would kind of mash well together. This video is off the rails. We just picked completely through random bottles, but usually we do a lot of research for you guys. And people that review this stuff, I swear they go in the chat GPT and say make up words.
Our second video, I looked up the tasting notes before we drank them, just so I didn't sound like an idiot, maybe. And I'm realizing that like the tasting notes they're rarely correct for me.
Like when I see people like, I get rich graham cracker dipped in a charcoal fire with chocolate drizzle. I'm like, what are you even talking
it's too
about?
specific.
Mhm.
Like we taste these, we're like, it tastes like rye. What about rye? I don't know, just rye. It tastes floral. I can't give
Yeah.
you a specific flower or anything, or an herb. It's floral.
No, I mean, when I think of bourbons and ryes, I think of floral flavors, caramel, vanilla. You can get chocolate and double oaks, both rye and bourbons, I think. And then finishes, that's when you kind of start getting more stuff. But I mean, even in like wine finishes or even maybe sometimes rum finishes, you can get some like fruit notes of like dried fruit, or the rums, you can get different types of fruits. But other than like an apple flavor that you get off like Irish whiskey and sometimes other bourbons, there's not like a distinguishable root you can pick.
Maybe with Booker's, yeah.
Booker's, you get peanuts because that's the bean peanut flavor.
That's a good thing about the videos we make is that we don't BS people. We don't make up things. It's like if I only get floral and I can't specify a specific thing, like I'll just tell you it tastes like floral. I can't elaborate any further. Too bad. You're gonna have to just deal with like that's the best I got. Floral. We tell you peanuts, vanilla, floral, chocolate, and then this one obviously tastes like rum. That's about as best as we can do. We rarely go deeper than that. You're never gonna hear one of us say like you said, graham cracker mixed with chocolate, roasted over a fire. It's like no,
Like
we're not like that.
the Cheerios in our last episode, I think was the most unique we've
Yeah.
ever gotten because it actually kind
was
of
very
like,
distinct.
yeah, like what it was obviously the malt that we were tasting, and none of us realized kind of what that was until Austin was like, tastes like Cheerios, and I was like, oh my god,
That's
like
what it
that
is, yeah.
actually tastes like Cheerios. And then after that video, a couple days later, I tasted one of the scotches I have, just kind of like does this scotch taste like Cheerios? And it did.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And he says for me that I ruined Irish whiskey for him because I said all of them taste like apple
It's all
juice.
apple. Yeah.
It is.
And it's not a bad thing. Like, I think there's a lot of very good Irish whiskeys out there. I am Irish specifically, so I do enjoy having at least a bottle at my bars at some times. But they all taste like apple juice. That's all it is.
Good Irish whiskeys are expensive too. That's the problem.
Like,
That's
there-
when you just get Bland's Black. Tastes like apple juice.
There's some good bourbons and whiskey and like American whiskeys that you can get for cheap. I mean, even Japanese whiskey. I mean, I know you're like a connoisseur of Japanese whiskey, but you can get some cheap ones. But Irish whiskey, the cheap ones are just
Jameson's not good.
They're just not for me. Good Irish whiskeys are like $80 in the bottle every time.
I mean, because you can get like a lot of good bourbons that are almost at the price of like a Jack Daniels and a regular Elijah Craig. Like, if you want to spend like 40 and above, you can really start to get distinct flavors out of bottles.
It doesn't take a lot of money to get a good bourbon.
No, like our first whiskey night that started this channel, started this adventure that we have. My bottle that I brought was Elijah Craig small batch. It is $26.99. It was nothing. My cousin, who isn't in the group anymore because he said we're too old, he's 4 years younger than us, he brought Wild Turkey 101.
Which is a good bottle.
No, yes. And then he brought crazy stuff because he was into this, like we said before, way before any of us were. And Austin brought a Japanese whiskey,
Which is great.
it was amazing. But like, that's what started this, is such basic run out to the store the day of whiskey night bottles that we could just get anywhere. None of us chased bottles at that point. He said he couldn't find anything. I wasn't into the game yet. He just drank Japanese. And then from there it spiraled completely out of control, derailed, smacked a school bus with no kids in it type of stuff, right? Like, it was.
And we weren't going to
insane.
spend $100 on a bottle for that first night. There was no way.
No.
We all went, hey, what's the cheapest we could find that's actually good? We'll bring that. And now it's like, a lot of times we might not even look at the cheap stuff anymore, unfortunately,
No,
just because we know it's good. A lot of the cheaper stuff, we like to chase the Havanas and we like to chase the Blue, I didn't chase this, but we like to chase the higher proof and higher price and
I like chasing.
rarer bottles, especially like when it comes to you and your Japanese whiskey. Like, you like the 12 and 18 years and a lot of things we actually can't get here a lot of times. But
No, we can't get anything. Half the stuff at my bar, we literally can probably never get again.
Nope.
It makes me so sad. All right, guys. So, we're going to end this video and our night with just a nice little cap of our dessert whiskey. Because this, I think, is all of our favorites of the evening, or is somebody else did something different? I can't see you, so I'm just going to be So, I mean, this was my favorite of the night. This might be one of my top 5, I think, for sure, that I've ever tried. I would go specifically, literally in order here, I would go Havana, Blue, and then that cast strength. And I don't want to diminish any of these. They're all very good, but that's what I think I would go with.
yeah, I would say it depends on if you're going for something that is much sweeter, then you would have to go this one first, and then however you want to place these two. I think taste-wise, my favorite is probably this one, followed by this, but all three I thought were definitely worth. This one's good. I wouldn't pay quite as much.
I
Maybe
wouldn't
like
pay 90.
10, 20 bucks less.
If I'm-
70 bucks? Sure.
Yeah.
If I'm taking price into this, I would put that at dead last. But if just trying it, I think it is good. I do not think, though, it is worth close to the price. It does, like what he said, $20 off. I think that's a way better bottle.
This is just so good.
Yeah.
This I would pay more for,
It's
and
so good.
I don't say that about many bottles, as you guys have probably seen in either shorts or anything. I wouldn't, but this I would.
Oh, absolutely.
Good thing I got 2.
I need to find me one.
I don't think you're gonna.
I can make some trades.
And what's funny is he also doesn't say that often about anything either.
No.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard him say that. I need to get that one, or I need to try to find it.
Yeah, this bottle was obtainable on like some of my like unicorns that I'm trying to chase.
I mean, you could definitely find this for secondary prices that are probably lower than like the 180 prices I see.
I think the highest I'd go is probably 120.
You could try trading for it. If you have a
Trading
really good
is
bottle,
probably what you
Yeah.
have to do.
trading it.
But I can't. I don't have anything
It
else.
won't
to
happen.
trade.
When you come back from
That's
Japan,
good. No, those are gonna be traded for way better bottles. And then maybe this year I'll find a unicorn. Hopefully.
I need you to find my Blanton's red. That's not more expensive than the black.
I'm really looking forward to the Kid and Fuji Contender twin pack.
Again, he potentially might be going in March, or is that still not your thing?
Probably March or April.
I see. So if you guys, do subscribe and like this, make sure you kind of tune in because he's going to be at least giving us some footage that I can either edit or upload or whatever of him in Japan. So, you can kind of see how different it is versus where we are in the US versus Japan. And, he might give us some cool things of like bars.
Oh, yeah. Definitely tons of good whiskey bars.
Yeah,
Golden Guy.
You definitely have to show some of like stores. Like what does the liquor store
the stores are incredible compared to here.
Well, I'm not talking about a grocery store. I'm talking about like,
the whiskey store.
Like
that's what I'm
store,
saying.
Yeah.
When I was going there, you had the Eagle Rares all stocked up. I'm talking 30 on the shelf.
Like what you said is you could order 2 cases, 12 bottles of Eagle Rare, Amazon to your hotel in 2 days, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
At MSRP.
Yeah, and
slightly less than MSRP.
I've never even seen
about
Eagle Rare in the store.
$36 a bottle.
Yeah, he actually can't find anything because when I say, hey, Corey, something's dropping tomorrow, I can't, sorry. I try.
Hey, when you messaged today and said, hey, the store up the street got their drop, I was like, I'm actually here right now. I don't know what to get though, so I'm just gonna get these 2 bottles.
Because whatever they actually probably got Havana this morning at 9 in the morning.
Oh.
I mean, this industry is pretty crazy because it's we live in PA, obviously, and Ohio is our next door neighbor. They actually, some of their stores implemented something very interesting. If you buy like a highly allocated bottle or one that drops recently, like a JD Coy Hill, for example, you have to crack it in the store in some of them.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't think that's a bad idea.
Absolutely not.
Like some people are like, oh, what if you give it for a gift or that? Like if you give it to a gift, then tell the guy like I had to open the store.
Yeah.
Like it's
they're gonna care.
No, but I mean, because people are getting furious about it because they're trying to sell it. Like I missed out on Coy Hill here because I actually probably could have got that if I knew the store I got this at gets it Tuesdays. But that bottle I think is $80, at least MSRP, or 80 or 90, and it was selling the same day for $350 to $400.
Well,
so
you
like,
know what they need to do? Honestly, they need to do a lottery. You check in person. ID, only one person. You can only do it at one store, and then the raffle goes. And then
do you know how Georgia does it?
How?
So Georgia has a lottery every year, and you can sign up at different stores or whatever. And I think this is Georgia, but you go in line and people camp out the night before. Like they say, hey guys, we're having this really big lottery. We're gonna have all these bottles at this day. So people wait out in line, and you literally just have to write your name down after the next person. So if you're the 100th person in line, you were the 100th person to get in the door. You can go back and sit in your car. Mm-hmm. They open up their store and they just have this tables of like Weller single barrel, like Penelope, Valencia, Rio, all this stuff. And then each table will say like you can pick 1 or you can pick 2, or if you pick this table, you can't pick the next table. Like that's how it does. But like, I mean, that they don't make you open bottles, but that's almost like how it should be with these crazy bottles.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't think Havana specifically. I don't think that's a crazy enough.
Something for a bigger job.
Yeah.
But just in general, any allocated bottles, I think in PA should be lottery based.
Like Coy Hill, I think should have been lottery based. That's a high enough bottle. But like, our lotteries here are usually for like Stags, Penelopes, or Pappies. I mean,
yeah, I mean, our lotteries are great. I'll never win one most of the time.
But I mean, what people do is you can only do 1 per household. So if you have a second account, which everybody does, you can put a different address in. But like, I mean, I guarantee people use their sister, their brother, their work, their this or that, and then they have 6 entries and they sell it. I mean, anybody that gets a Pappy for $500, most people aren't going to drink it.
But I don't even know if I think we would drink it, I would say.
I would 100% open it. I would open it in front of this camera.
I would have, like, we're just not like that. We don't, like, if I had 2 Pappies, maybe I would think about selling one.
No, I'd trade it if I had.
So you know what? Thank you guys for watching yet again. Thanks for coming along for the ride. In the last video, I talked about how, my household came out with the sickness. So hopefully videos will be back to normal now. We'll get more shorts, all that type of stuff for you. We might actually have a double upload next week because I don't know when this video is going to be edited, to be honest. I have no idea. It's later in the week now. But, we might have a double upload and then let us know if anybody actually watches this. Do you like these longer ones, the episodes, or do you want more of the short ones that we've been posting recently?
Yeah.
I mean,
we're going to keep making the short ones.
We're going to do both regardless.
Start making some medium ones, like, 10, 15-minute long ones of each of us doing whatever at home. We still have to try out some of those ones that people have requested. So we still have the Basil Hayden's and the Bullet. We just have to try to find which ones we want to compare to to each other.
We've an idea for those, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've an idea for
Absolutely.
what we want to do with those. I mean, because we don't want to be that channel that pulls out a Pappy, pulls out a Blanton's Black, pulls out a Blanton's Gold.
No, but it wouldn't be relatable.
Like it's
Not
just-
everybody can get that. We can't get that stuff.
Yeah,
so
I mean-
we don't expect anyone that's viewing our videos to get that stuff.
No, I want to show you guys stuff that I was able to obtain with slight ease. Like this was difficult, but once I found out what store had it, I just showed up, didn't wait in line.
You didn't have to pay secondary.
Yeah.
You didn't have to travel to a different state. It was in our state for MSRP.
Yep.
It was you had to go to a specific store. None of the stores around us had it. You had to drive, 30 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, but it was right next to my doctor's anyway,
Yeah, it
so it's
worked
not like
out
I
perfectly.
literally. It's kind of worked out, And let us know, I mean, what you guys kind of have to deal with, What I've been able to do is that I'm in a Facebook group with people like me where they want to just find bottles, and there's the silent people that are definitely scalpers. But a lot of us just kind of BS and talk and say, "Oh, I found this bottle at this location," and then sometimes I'll even post like, "Hey guys, I found this bottle here. There's 1 or 2 left." Like, try to just be nice and maybe, someone will come your way. It hasn't come my way yet, but it might come your way. Probably not, but again, thanks for watching. Hopefully the next
Like the video.
Bruh.
The next episode, we have no idea what we're doing yet, so I'm not even gonna tell you because I don't know what's in
You
the
won't
list.
know unless you tune in.
Yeah, just gotta tune in.
Tune in next time.
We might not even be here. We might be outside in the cold.
We might be camping.
We might be camping. We might be camping out at a liquor store for a drop.
We might be in a distillery.
That would be a sweet live. Actually. If we were waiting outside the store, did a live, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, and we actually been talking about ideas of going to a local distillery, seeing if they will let us film there, maybe for even like a live event or something. But I mean, we need you guys to let us know, because we don't get a lot of views, but there is enough where people can tell us what you guys like. So, we've been trying to step up the audio, the video, the editing game. We're gonna keep on trucking along because even if no one watches, we still get to drink whiskey together. And what's better than friendship?